There are many albums that are amazing that are worth listening to. In 2017, many bands either stuck to their sound but in a more refined way and with new elements, such as U2 with their album Songs of Experience, which I think is solid. You should check it out, it's underrated. And Foo Fighters Concrete Gold, which is good. And Trivium's The Sin or the Sentence, which is pretty much great. Or just made new sounds or want to experiment like Paramore's After Laughter, Linkin Park's One More Light, Weezer's Pacific Daydream. I like most of the songs there, not the big single of it. But it was a dark time as well in 2017 as Chris Cornell, the lead singer of Soundgarden and later Chester Bennington from Linkin Park, died from suicide due to mental health struggles. It was very devastating for a lot of people, myself included. Meanwhile, there are other tragic events, whether you like it or not, happening like Donald Trump being president and yada 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 cringe Taylor Swift music. You get the memo. Besides the obvious, there are others who came out with a huge swing and kicked the door down with how good the music is. Then we get to the bad stuff, where it had more popularity than any of the good music mentioned, and later on people look back and realize, oh my god, why did I like this? Or they would sometimes look fondly at saying, 2017 actually was a good year, I miss those times. But one band in particular hasn't aged well with most people like me, and to be honest, I never ever listened to it before. And that album was an album that managed to gain over 2 billion streams on Spotify and sold over 1 million copies and went platinum. I'm talking about AJR. For the record, I like Nickelback and Creed, and if anyone's curious, Hinter's Extreme Behavior is a solid rock album, whilst still having a few bad songs in there. But this album is where I draw the line. To anyone who's about to watch me talk about this album, then welcome to hell. This is the Landfill Collection, where I dig through albums so bad they make Metallica's Saint Anger sound like Pink Floyd. And for the record, Saint Anger is a good album in my opinion. Just poorly made, that's all. And for our first trip into the trash heap, we've got one of the most baffling success stories in modern pop. AJR's The Click, a whopping 0.4 out of 10. Let's suffer together. AJR are three brothers from New York who somehow turned their college project into an empire of painfully self-aware pop. They describe themselves as DIY, but let's be real, The Click sounds like it wasn't produced inside a children's science fair volcano. Released in 2017, this thing has been praised by casual pop listeners, loathed by some critics, and turned into endless memes by anyone with ears. Here's the thing. The Click could almost have been a tolerable pop album. There are flashes, just flashes, where the instrumentals sound like they're heading somewhere decent. Tracks like Sober Up or Turning Out have real melodic ideas under the surface. You could tell there's potential hiding there, buried beneath a mountain of forced electronic drops that sound like rejected Wii menu noises. If AJR just stuck to the organic stripped down sections, I might have called it okay. But every time a decent moment appears, they nuke it with some hyper-produced, meme-level drop that ruins the moods completely. And here's where everything truly collapses. The lyrics and the vocals. Don't get me wrong, AJR are a nice band that I think are kind and nice people, but the music they make is bad. Jack Matt sings like he's auditioning for a Broadway version of TikTok the Musical. Everything is overly enunciated, every line screams, "Look how clever I am," and the emotional delivery feels like it was taught by a motivational speaker. Let's look at some highlights, or lowlights. I get up, I get down, and I'm jumping around. Congratulations, you just described every 5-year-old on a sugar rush. I'm weak, and what's wrong with that? Well, Jack, what's wrong with this entire song? The band tries to sound deep and relatable, but it ends up feeling like an AI tried to summarize therapy tweets from 2016. Here's how each of the 30 tracks stack up on the Landfill scale. Before I tear this album apart, I do want to say, I've got a friend who actually likes this band, and honestly, I respect that. He's into the weirdest stuff sometimes, but that's part of his charm. And I mean, weird in the best, goofiest way possible. He and I are both autistic, and we just hear the things differently. So, no hate to anyone who enjoys AJR, this review is just my take. for my ears, my brain, and my sanity trying to survive a click. Okay. Track 1, Overture, a 0.2 out of 10. Positives, some nice melody, and it gives a clear look into the rest of the album. But the negatives, the decent melodies and instrumentals are ruined by a drop of electronic landfill. The lyrics are meh, the vocals suck, the end of a song is abrupt, and there was no need for a metronome in the beginning, cause it's way off. Also, note, this song was in Pixar Soul. Now you may be thinking, the same Pixar that literally put Green Day's Westbound Sign, the best song in Insomniac by Green Day, in the Cars 1 teaser trailer, and also put a bad Mastodon song in the movie of Monsters University. Which, by the way, I'm not a big fan of Mastodon, so yeah, shush. But anyways, why would you put this awful song in Pixar Soul? I get it has the vibrancy and the colors, but is it really worth putting in it? Seriously, what the... Okay, on to the next track, which is a 0.5 out of 10, and it's called The Good Part. What are the positives, you may ask? Decent melody, like I said. It's decent melody, but it's a bit cheesy. The negatives, like I said, it's cheesy. It has crap lyrics, cringe singing, way too electronic at parts. It gets cheesy real quick and it feels wrong. Also, the lyrics, "Can we skip to the good part?" is a bit ironic, considering if I skip it to the good part, it would be the last millisecond of the album, minus bonus tracks, meaning there is no good part at all. Now, track 3, Weak, is 0.1 out of 10. What are the positives? I don't know, a decent hook, I guess. Who am I kidding? This song sucks. Negatives, awful singing, awful music, and weak songwriting. This song is over 700 million streams. Let me repeat, it has more streams than Typo Negatives and Stain's biggest songs. Excuse me for a moment. There, that was a bit awkward for you, but I had to express my rage a bit. So, track 4, Sober Up, a 1.3 out of 10. The closest thing to don't hate it, but it's still awful. Positives, instrumental is decent a bit. Song could be more tolerable if it had better lyrics. But not gonna lie, Rivers Cuomo does his part well, and it may be iconic. Cause, like, the lines, "My favorite color is you," it's stuck in my head, it's pretty good. Well, not gonna lie, you know? But then we get to the negatives, where it is meh songwriting, awful singing from the AJR band that ruins the song a lot, and it feels cheesy. Rivers Cuomo is the only singing that is actually tolerable in the song, and also the last part in this song is cringeworthy. Like, why would you include that bedroom-esque line, recorded in the bedroom line, which goes, "How's it go again?" Like, ironically, I am in my bedroom, but still, it's awful. Now, track 5, Drama, a 0.1 out of 10. The positives, an okay hook. I don't know, it's cringe, actually. The negatives, bad music, awful lyrics, and awful vocals. This feels pointless to listen to, and it almost seems like filler, which most of the album is kind of like filler in a way, but still, it's filler. Why was there any point to include this song in the album? Hell, this album is pointless to listen to. I get that the band are trying to be different and they are nice people, but their ideas and the execution are bad. Some ideas sound nice on paper, but in execution, it falls down to the dumpster fire real quick. Track 6, Turning Out, 2.5 out of 10. The least offensive. Probably my favorite song in the album, but I still hate it for reasons I'll get into. The positives, the instrumental, despite being a bit 8-bit YouTube Kids sad instrumental music is at least tolerable and it's not jarring at all. That's something. The negatives? The lyrics are immature and they still suck. The singing is awful and it's also awkward. If they had better lyrics and good vocals, then this song would at least be around a 5.1 out of 10 to 7.5 out of 10. Also, the animated music video is bad, as it feels like a video that a Gen Alpha would watch in YouTube Kids along with Cocomelon. But AJR are so focused on trying to be different that they forgot how to properly do their songwriting and have good singing. Why did people waste their time on checking this band out when there's better music out there, like Gotye's entire discography, not just somebody that I used to know, as he knew how to sound different while still maintaining maturity, lyrics, and a great voice, along with great music? Why the hell did AJR get more fame than that? How many tracks left in this album? 4, 5, 7 songs? Alright, we gotta get to my least favorite song in the album, and probably one of the worst songs I've ever heard in history. Track 7's No Grass Today. A 0 out of 10, it should not exist. Positives? Nothing. The chorus may sound okay, but it's still a dumpster fire. Negatives? The lyrics are about smoking weed. That's pretty much it. The instrumental is bad, the vocals are bad, the lyrics are awful, and I hate this song. Why does this song exist? Why does it have more streams than Stone Temple Pilots' Shangri-La Dita album? Why? Stone Temple Pilots' Shangri-La Dita is an underrated great album that no one listens to for some reason because it's different or something. I don't know, what the hell? Why? Why does AJR have more streams than Stone Temple Pilots in general? Why? Sorry if it my voice may sound whiny. Obviously, I'm 18. I'm not like in my 30s or something. That's why you could hear a bit of my voice going a bit high. But still, now we gotta move on from this awful track, and we are in track 8, 330, a 0.2 out of 10. Now, what are the positives, you may ask? It has a nice, decent chorus. If the lyrics and vocals were good, then it would at least be tolerable, and that song would at least be above the hate zone, even though I still don't like the rest of the song. And the song name lives up to its name. Kinda? Well, when I say kinda, it's mainly because, one, people could upload this song to YouTube. For example, I could upload this song to YouTube and change the length to 332 on purpose or accident. Whatever it is, I literally would do that, or someone else would do that. As an example, like, yeah, it doesn't live up to its name. And the negatives about the song name, it sucks. The lyrics are meh, the vocals are bad, the rest of the instrumental is meh. I get that I'm repeating myself, but seriously, listen to the album by yourself, and I don't know how to describe this album at all. Like, it kind of broke me, alright? So, meh, just. Track 9, Call My Dad, a 0.1 out of 10. The positives? No bad instrumentals. Even though there's kind of an instrumental playing, like an ambient synth or something, it sounds good. Oh, and also because it's mostly a cappella. And about the a cappella, the negatives, the vocals are awful, the vocoder is terrible, this song is jarring, the lyrics are pure cringe and embarrassing, same with the song title, which makes it sound immature and awful. Like, the song is literally called Call My Dad. Why do people defend this song? And for some reason, this was the first single released in December of 2015. That's an awful choice for a single. What the oh, God. Okay. Next track. Track 10, I'm Not Famous. A 0.1 out of 10. That's me. I'm literally not famous yet. But obviously my music isn't multi-platinum selling, but still, it's at least tolerable in some ways of creativity, in terms of creativity, whatever. Um, the positives, it has an okay chorus, I guess, an okay instrumental as well. However, the negatives, the rest of the instrumental gets cringe real fast. The vocals are awful, the lyrics are awful, as it's very delusional. It is terribly ironic, and they claim to have no haters, but there are plenty out there. That includes me. Like, I know you're not famous, but that doesn't mean you'll have haters. Wait, what I meant to say is, just cause you're not famous doesn't mean you automatically have zero haters. Right? People didn't like your first album back then because, I don't know, I haven't heard the first album, so don't ask me. Okay. Track 11, Netflix Trip. A 0.1 out of 10. What are the positives? The instrumental and vocal melody would be solid if not for the awful lyrics and vocals and the electronic parts of a song. Negatives, like I've said, the lyrics are awful. Same with the singing, and maybe the electronic parts of a song. The title is bad, the lyrics also make me cringe and they are embarrassing. And it's, why are you singing about The Office and Netflix in a song like... This song could have been about, like, I don't know, inspirational motif, that kind of stuff, instead of just Netflix and The Office. Like, that makes you sound immature. Also, this album has over 2 billion streams on Spotify, yet barely anyone talks about Type of Negatives or Faith No More's or even 98% of Gautier's music. Why does this happen? We got 2 songs left. Track 12, Buds Like You, a 0.1 out of 10. What are the positives? Well, it sounds like a song that pirates would sing and maybe a Disney song. And it has decent use of gang vocals. And it's the type of song to actually be in a Disney movie. So that's saying something. But it's still awful. And speaking of awful, the negatives are the singing is still awful, the music is bad, and the lyrics are bad, like it's about people not wanting to be there, yet for some reason they have a bud like you. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Don't ask me, don't come for me, just don't bother. Okay, now we're in the last track. Track 13, Come On Out. Hopefully this song is good. Right? Nope. It's 0.1 out of 10. The positives? An okay chorus, an okay instrumental. Okay. The negatives, the singers of AJR are awful at singing. The lyrics are meh. I hate when the singer says, I'll be there next time, I'll be there next time. It's just... it's cringe. The female vocals are kind of bad at points. The lyrics, you work so hard, is ironic and maybe delusional. Since this album felt like there was no good work put into it, why is this album that awful? The average score of the album is a 0.4 out of 10. Like I said, that's not just awful, that's landfill certified. Now, before anyone asks, what is the Landfill Collection? Well, basically, the rules of the Landfill Collection. To clarify, here's how I rate songs or albums. A 0 out of 10 means it shouldn't exist. Just like No Grass Today. And a 0.1 out of 10 to 2.5 out of 10 is the hate zone, where I hate the music, or vocals, or whatever the lyrics are. And the 2.6 out of 10 to a 4.9 out of 10 is just a dislike. Like, I don't like this song, you know? And basically anything under a 5 out of 10 is belongs in the Landfill Collection. And the 5 out of 10 is mid-neutral music. And the 5.1 out of 10 to a 7.5 out of 10 is okay, decent and nice music. And 7.6 out of 10 to 8.9 out of 10 is where I call the music good. And a 9 out of 10 to a 9.6 out of 10 is where I call the music great. Actually, 9 out of 10 to 9.5 out of 10 is where I call the music great. And a 9.6 out of 10 to a 9.9 out of 10 is where I call the song or album amazing, almost flawless. And a 10 out of 10 is the best thing ever made. And this album, yeah, this lives deep in my hate zone, alright? Closer to musical Landfill than anything resembling pop art. Here are my final thoughts, if you wonder. If you strip away the frat boy quirks and the TikTok core lyrics and the electronic music drops and other electronic stuff, there might have been something decent there. But the Click is so obsessed with being different that it forgets to be listenable. It's kinda overproduced, because it's not that bad in production-wise, because as a music producer, it's not that overproduced. So that's something. But it's emotionally hollow and it's lyrically embarrassing. It's like if Imagine Dragons and Disney's marketing department had a child, and that child started a band about feeling quirky. Final score 0.4 out of 10. Not completely hopeless, but dangerously close. This was episode 1 of the Landfill Collection. Next time we're going metal and not in a good way. Mastodon Leviathan. Yeah, that's gonna be a war zone. After that, all future Landfill episodes will be chosen by Patreon supporters. So if you want to decide what album I throw into the trash next, hit the link in the description or the pinned comment. Support the channel, suggest your picks, and help me survive the next dumpster dive. Thanks for watching. I'm Mfast Noise Stuff. This is the Landfill Collection. And AJR, please stop. Just stop. I know you're nice guys, but you have better music out than just The Click and pretty much most of your music. So yeah. And also support my band Victims of Zero, even though it may not be as quality par to AJR. At least some of the lyrics aren't awful as AJR's music lyrics. Anyways, bye bye.